boom, bum, bum. Okay. La da 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 da. Bum bum ba dum bum dum da dum dum dum. Bum ba bum ba bum 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 bum. All right, so it looks like we have a ban from OTS for Consulate and Ruin that says no to Skyscraper. So two big maps pretty off the pool pretty quickly here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull up this chat. I will say I am pretty delayed because we have like the delay for competitive integrity. So if it feels like I'm late to your reply, I promise I'm answering it as fast as I can. OTS goes with a bank. After that, then we have Ruin going with a layer ban. So looks like we're getting a lot of these spacious big maps kind of like out of the way. If we do go to like a chalet, a clubhouse, even like a cafe, I kind of gonna give this a competitive advantage to OTS, just in the sense of they have better gunners and they've been playing for longer together, where Ruin is kind of, you know, a little bit less experienced than OTS. Bum ba dun 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 dun. And so now it seems like Ruin's trying to figure out what we're doing. I'm going to check in on the lobby here. Alright, seems like Ruin's getting in. Bum ba ba da dun 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 dun. Okay, we have a chalet ban from OTS, which is kind of wild. I figured they wanted to go there, and then a cafe ban from Ruin. So our choices, we're going to border, and I don't think that's a good thing for Ruin either. It's a very gunfighting reliant map, and I just feel like OTS is gonna steamroll here, but that's okay. We still have to get people in. It looks like we're going to OTS has attack on border. So I need to do these. We go to border. And then on blue team is OTS. Orange team is red. Bam ba dum ba dum bam bam bam. Alrighty, ladies and gents, I'm gonna pull up the stream and then we should be Gucci to go. Alrighty. From you, Winky. Oh. I want this to go away, thank you. Okay, a little random nonsense at the beginning of the game was always fun. Take it easy on our poor souls. I'll have some faith. Have some faith, Ruin. It'll all be okay. Jackal ban coming out first from Ruin, and I don't explicitly hate this, but if they would have done their homework, they would have known that OTS likes to bring the Demos instead of Jackal. Jackal's still a good thing. Still a good ban in a way. Like, it's a wonky ban. That means I feel like Ruin wants to get out and open on the map, get active, and see if they can try to meet some of these players at the points of entry to try to stop this. Now, OTS banning Blitz, I think they could have taken advantage of the Blitz, but we'll see kind of how they I do this. Well, I do know that Ruin likes to go fast sometimes, so let's see what their defense ban here is. It's Cade. That's an interesting choice for bans. A Cade Blitz ban coming out from Ruin. I'm gonna post this on social so I can get people to come watch. YouTube. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, 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 bum. Going into round one. Let's go. Bro, what? Okay, so I'm seeing Akuma being slotted back into maybe like a support position. H being on the glass. I think something fast is about to happen.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I gotta turn you up a little bit. I had to turn you down when you were hanging out with the roomies. And go ahead and say something for me, please.
Hello.
Thank you. That is way better. I'll do this. That should fix. And then I got to pull up the stream so I can see comments. Okay, we're good to go. So, Ruin decide to take OTS to border, and I just don't think that's a good idea. Bans are looking, OTS banned the Blitz and the Cade, and Ruin ended up banning the Fenrir Jackal. So it looks like Ruin wants to get a little active in the map. The only thing that I have to say kind of about this is look at OTS's lineup here.
Looks like a very aggressive lineup with Roar, Glaz, Amaru. I'm fully expecting this East take here.
Oh yeah. Nope, you just cut
possibly with those operator picks. The thing I find the most interesting here, I said it's about as televised as possible with these operator picks. I think the most interesting part by far is banning Blitz when you have Valkyrie on your team. He's a very aiming Blitz player, loves the aggressive shield option. Taking it away from him seems like an odd choice when, you know, they're the ones who banned it.
Yeah. Something else that I kind of like maybe have a little bit of a struggle with here too is like Mac is going to go flying through sandwich window, and I just don't know if Ruin's ready for what's about to happen.
Most likely not. It's very hard to be ready for this. You have the Glaz on the cover.
Nothing else.
You could Amaru up the hatch at any point. There it is. There's the through the window and behind.
Mac picking up a double.
It's almost impossible to be ready for this, especially with how well this was executed. All the attention gets drawn to the plant, Amaru in through the back, and, you know, that's going to be all she's going to do at the end of the day here.
Oh, no, Mac, you can't do that to him. No way. Oh, no. Okay, so I just seen some of the most disrespectful shit I've seen in this entire league so far. Mac going through the window, picking up a 3-piece, and to clear up his 4th kill of the round, he shoves a knife in somebody's back after chasing him down with no ammo in both guns, by the way. That was his only out. Man. Yeah, that is definitely what I like to call a tone setter in a match. That is
Yep. It just shows right off the bat between the knife from Mac and just how well that was executed.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
OTS is
the
going to be very confident through the rest of this. Ruin definitely not going to be getting much respect until they can prove it. And I have to be immediately alarmed by a Vigil coming out on the board after we definitely did not see drones mattering much in that last round.
Yeah, I also, well, they did try to go for a little bit of a quick play here. I will say something I do like as an adjustment is the Warden pick, right? Maybe try to fight through that smoke a little bit, but if Glaz's got the angle and you try to peek into that, the glasses will not activate before Glaz's scope is already active. So, like, you have like a 1 to 2 second span there where Glaz just has free reign, but if you can get the angle where he's not looking, then that's a fair fight. So, just a little bit of cool interactability with some of the utility that's on the board right now. Akuma. So, something weird that I've kind of seen is they moved Akuma back to like a support role. How do you feel about that? Just off their lineup.
It's hard to say. You know, I've played with Akuma before. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. And I think that decision might just be made knowing that someone's got to do it when you're playing at this level. Someone has to be the person who's dedicated to droning. Someone's got to play that hard breach. And I think, you know, when you look at the gunning capability on this team, it does seem like the obvious choice to put Akuma or Valakut on those roles. And that's not a slight to them as players. They're great players.
Yeah. Twirly with a 2-piece. The possible third.
And there's going to be that lack of respect until it's been earned showing up.
Oh my god. Twirly with 4!
That's a statement piece right back. Does have the ace denied, sadly. But yeah, you have to wonder if Akuma's even going to make a real attempt at this one.
I would say that he's going to, but this first 10 seconds is going to be getting the info down, opening up different avenues to the bomb site, and trying to set this pressure onto the people that are left in the match to maybe stay on bomb because they have to respect his drop. So I think that's what we're going to see now. You know, Akuma is a talented player. We've seen him pop off on 2 different of the matches before, so I have full confidence that if he puts his mind to it, he can definitely get it done.
He absolutely can. It's still a winnable position. You have the utility necessary in Hibana to clear a lot of the things that are going to be left on the board here. You can clear the shields. You can clear castles. It's really just going to be what he decides to do here. But you can tell immediately by the droning, he doesn't know where these players are. He doesn't know how he wants to approach this.
He's seen some toes.
I'm a little worried he might try to commit to this hatch drop. Okay, no, he's going to push east, maybe?
Yeah, maybe kill some of their info, make them a little more squirrely. That drone sitting in a good spot. Maybe his teammates are giving him some calls. Never mind, it was in checkup. And like we said, you know, that him being able to answer back to that gunfight, it just goes to show that this roster is studded with oh, there's one.
Okay, bit of a freebie onto Akira. And they have been so kind as to present him with a rotate. And that SMG-12 on a tight angle is going to be able to find it. That's tough if you're Akuma there. It feels winnable, but he was left in quite the position to begin with.
Yeah, and I want to say, Twirly in Armory, just absolutely shutting down a 4-man push into Armory. What a disgusting round from Ruin. And I think it's going to take a little bit more of those precautionary steps. Like, that first round was kind of off the back of getting that Monty in there, smoking off a lot of their rotates, and them not having the utility answer to that. So, you know, this goes to show that Ruin's not going to go down without a fight. I hope it, man. I want to see like a 7-5 out of Ruin. I want to see that they can grab the collar and punch back.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Yeah, absolutely. In a big part of that last round, you have to consider they weren't playing the normal kind of safe in fountain in office upstairs hold. No, they sat 2 guys in armory. They knew where OTS wanted to enter, and they put a stop to it immediately. Either they knew that they had to command that respect, or they were going to get beat up like that, or they had maybe decided that you cannot let OTS get into that execute capability, because they just demonstrated the ability to execute perfectly in round 1. So somewhere along one of those 2 mindsets, they made the decision to play aggressive, put it right back in their face, and it paid off big time.
Yeah, and it's something else that I want to also kind of maybe even talk about with you is like that last round felt like both teams threw off the gloves for a little bit of a hockey reference, pointed each other out, and said right here in the middle, right? Like we're throwing down right here in armory. Win or lose, this is where the action is happening. And I love that energy, man. I love it. And for Ruin to come on top of it, like Twirly just going crazy, like makes me feel good. Twirly holding the rotate in CC here, fighting back as well. Let's get a little bit of a view on his POV.
I'm a little concerned with the one-dimensionality here. There it is. There's the good pinch. Didn't realize we still had Ash on that doorway. And that right there is just textbook of how to deal with a player in security.
Yeah. Doubling up and being there for your friends, you know? Holding hands, right? Friendship makes the dream work. Okay, Warden, answering back. I'm going to get off the drone here. See, this is something that I think that Ruins, if they do watch this back, could maybe take a little bit of help from. Is like, if you're droning yourself in, this information can change so quickly that like droning yourself in isn't the most proficient way to do it. Someone should be following that drone, or at least ready to act off of it in a sense. Ooh, Mac, what a shot, bud. I think they're going to try to walk this in.
Bomb located by attackers.
This will be a sneaky execute if they can make this work.
Attackers are
Oh, the nitro's already been used? Nope, there it was. Not sure where that nitro was, unless it was shot.
I got hung up on the...
Oh, and poor timing just ruined. But OTS over swings. Ruin pre-aiming the floor.
Defenders have located the diffuser.
Oh, and he wins the 1v1. Oh, he's air jab, but he still has time. You still have time. Oh, man, these rounds are scrappier than they should be. Wow.
Diffuser disabled by defenders. Bomb defusing attempt failed. Defenders win.
I'm at a loss for words. That 1v1 on metal was absolutely crucial to the round. I mean, obviously, you know, but like, oh, wow. There's nothing much else I can say.
No, I think that's one of those moments where we just need to let the footage speak for itself. It came down to a very basic execute of open the wall, plant on that corner. You can make the note that Ruin forgot to make the feet holes there. They gave OTS that opportunity. But at the end of the day, there really wasn't much execute utility to talk about. That one just came down to guns, and OTS lost that one.
Yeah, and something else that I want to point out, too, that was like something that Ruin can also take from that last round. What really put them in a driving position in that round was when they were doubled up on the armory like split here. When the guy swung this corner, he was wanting to get the guy that was closest to him, but there was someone deep in sandwich, and that's where that, you know, when you start the trade system with the kill for you and then you trade it out again, like that's really powerful, especially for a mid-round post plant, right? Like, just absolutely insane. And then for him to collect the laying down Dokubi on the door was just good comms.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, so how do you feel about this, Kirov, where they quadruple reinforce the bathroom? Do you think that's tech, or do you like the rotate?
I apologize. I apologize. I need you to run that one more time. Which rotate?
So no, I'm talking about bathroom being quadruple reinforced. Do you think do you like the rotate there, or do you think this is new tech?
So I think this depends on your play styles of team. Me personally, I like having a rotate there. I like having the ability as a defender to do two things: extend out to the bathroom and put feet holes along the wall to deny the jump in into what do you call it, tellers.
Yeah.
Additionally, having a rotate there means if you play an extension upstairs, you can play like the safer fountain and office extension, and then drop that hatch and immediately be back in sight if you need to do so.
Yeah.
So it's more of a stylistic choice for the team. The fact that we have players over in that extension here, you'd hope that hatch is open and that they would leave that fallback option, but they clearly chose not to. Don't know how well that's thought out.
Oh my God, he's gonna die to the ram.
I keep telling players to be careful with ram. There are bomb sites you do not want the whole
Surely
floor
answers
open.
it too.
You critically hurt your own teammates. Kuma just sniping down for you.
And see that, and I want to talk about this for people that don't really know roles and stuff. Just because you see Akuma on like a flank watch or like a hard support role, does not mean that he's not gonna have impactful frags in the round. And that was like, oh my God, Twirly's on a triple. Where's this kid at? He's 7-3, putting on an absolute clinic on the roam. He falls off.
I don't know how much of this is roaming. We'd have to look at this from Twirly's perspective. But this is a good extension. Maintaining control of this area. I'm a little concerned at how much he's overswinging, though. I feel like he's getting too confident. Granted, so far, he's earned that confidence. But at some point, that can come back to bite you in the butt. And if it does, sometimes it's very hard to recover from as a player.
Yeah, he's getting a little impatient here, which is something with that you tend to fight more with experience than being inexperienced. Yeah, perk going down there is absolutely not good.
Yeah, see, right now, Twirly's got that overconfidence. He's playing very carelessly. Constantly walking around with his gun down. He's not checking these holes. And it's going to be a free kill when Mac decides to drop this hatch. And it just goes to show you how much that overconfidence can lead to carelessness so easily.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, you're looking at like his positioning, the big the impacts that he's having on these rounds. I think that his team needs to maybe help support him just a little bit more and get a little bit more active on maybe playing his crosses. 'Cause, like the guy that was playing in Radio Window, like he chipped up a bunch of people, and let's be very, very clear, like Val was on 1 HP on the Blackbeard, mainly because he got chipped up from Radio, and then the ram just was stuck on his butt cheeks. He couldn't move. Like anywhere he went, he was just taking damage, so he just ate it.
Yeah, that is a very unfortunate mistake that thankfully did not come back to punish them very hard. But you have to imagine looking at the health bar, even one of those lesions could have finished him off.
Okay, that Radio is something else. Do not attempt to board the helicopter, guys.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Shout out to all my players who still shoot the speaker when you spawn into the round.
Well, I think that one was the outside, because if you go out.
5 seconds remaining.
All right, never mind.
Attackers are heading out.
And it made me out to be a liar. Okay. What do you think here? It's tied to how heavy do you think the drones are going to be coming in from OTS, and to maybe like that this cap can get some value.
I don't know if it's going to be about drone work. I didn't happen to pay attention where these were placed, but at the end of the day, there's only so many spots for them to be. Usually the difference maker for a cap can here is whether or not the attack knows that cap can is on the board, and whether or not they can commit the time to check for them. That's the two big things. Because if they have the time and they know Capcan's on the board, there's only so many places they could be. They're pretty predictable. The community relatively knows where they are at this point. I do question the droning ahead of the Monty, but obviously it's paying off here as we find the cap cans before he gets to the door. Monty applying very good pressure, checking these doorways for cap cans.
Trey playing the absolute cutoff.
Clearly making Capcan uncomfortable immediately. This is great. Pushing him back in a corner. I feel the Deimos track was unnecessary there, but they'll clean him up regardless.
Yeah, and now that was almost clinical work getting this top floor cleared out of any pesky roamers.
Tracks deployed!
And, you know, if these guys would have done a little bit of research on the team, like, they don't play Jackal, they play the Deimos, and they could have banned that instead of the Jackal.
Stun grenade.
Yeah, I do question Jackal bans nowadays. There are just stronger alternatives. Jackal's not that popular. You know, if we can look at the statistics from SI and other majors, we know Jackal's not a very impactful operator.
I feel like it depends on the play style of the attack, right? Like, if you're really just trying to make somebody uncomfortable, then, you know. But then you're like,
yeah,
okay, but
at the end of the day, the most common use for him as of late in the competitive circuit has been to pair him with a Lion. If you know that you're going to be dealing with situations like Upstairs Consulate, for example, where you just really need to pin down one player.
Push forward!
But other than that, he's just not as useful and not as universal as operators like Dokkaebi, as Deimos, you know, other very strong attackers with a lot of information gathering ability. And here we're going to see another shield execute.
Attackers
It
are
seems very
activating
clean.
bomb diffuser.
You're just going to die here. How do we let him tear down a castle? Mute gets away with tearing down a castle in front of 2 attackers. And gets a kill before finally getting refragged. Overall, it's going to be a very good post plan from the OTS side. Just staying guns up and winning those fights as Ruin is forced to push back into the bomb site.
Yeah, so a 3 attack half, honestly, if Ruin can snag this last round, I think they should be happy with that on border, honestly. A 50-50, and then you go to attack.
Attackers need to
It's just
locate
how
and defuse
coordinated on
bombs.
attack are they, you know? That's going to be the question there.
I think how coordinated they are on the attack is going to make
Bomb
a big
located by
difference depending on
attackers.
the style of setup we're going to see from OTS. If OTS, knowing a map like Border, tries to make it a very 1v1 heavy fight, they're going to be able to do that, and coordination might not be as important for the attack. Especially if, you know, OTS decides to open a lot of angles, you know, keep things open, keep things soft, and just try to make this a 1v1 small map moment. They're going to be able to do that. And then coordination is not going to matter. But if they choose to play a very boxy, utility-heavy
5
Border,
seconds to go.
it is really hard to crack as an attacker unless you can set up a lot of exterior
objective is to
crossfires
defuse a
and
bomb.
force defenders to walk into them.
Now, I know I am kind of giving like a really boring POV, but I want to see what Val's got cooked up on this strat here with the Osa, and he's just been absolutely punishing the defense on Monty.
Well, seeing Osa, you have to assume the age-old standard on this game, East takeover here. We've seen these Osa plans time and time again for pro teams. Historically, they haven't been that successful, and a large part of that has been that defending lineups standard nowadays will bring 4 or more explosives on this bomb site to deny plant safely, to ensure that Osa cannot plant from a long distance.
Oh, he's gonna hop in here.
Okay.
Yeah, Warden has a shotgun.
Friendly reminder to our viewers. Osa is kind of only a shield in technicality. While she can put a shield in front of her face, she cannot shield bash. She cannot
Fight. off
help
of
me
it
out
very
here. What's the
well.
word I'm looking for? Yeah, she can't fight off of a shield in her hand. She doesn't have a gun in her hands when she does so. She is very much a passive style of gameplay that requires you to premeditatedly put down the shield and play off of the shield.
No
You
claymore.
can't really do much with it in your hands.
I can't tell if that's a claymore or not. I don't think they have it claymored.
I don't think it's going to matter. I do like the pressure here from Warden, but I don't think this Warden is actively looking for us here. I think it's more about keeping the pressure. Wing's just a little too far, and he's going to get punished by, I believe that was H over there.
Ooh, yeah, that doesn't feel good.
Ruin has a very nice mirror setup. He could very well still make some damage here. Position will be given away as he tries to spray back through the wall, and Mac's going to get him. Was he on the floor?
Yeah, he was laying down. Or, well, H was.
Oh, just walked into two angles at the same time, and yeah, that's going to do it. Ugh. Apologies, I am so stuffed up today. I don't know if it's the weather.
What's up, Hayes?
What is wrong with me?
Are we paused, or what's happening here?
I'm assuming it's just a load in. If it was paused, Mongo, the infinity symbol at the top would be grayed out. Most likely, we're just waiting on a player to load in, and we're having some small network connectivity issues. It does happen. Although I confess, it is starting to become a alarmingly long rate.
Yeah.
Might end up having a disconnect here.
SSD. What's up, Corbin? What's going on, guys? 2-minute delay. Just want to remind you. So if you post in chat, it's going to take a minute for me to respond. What's that mean? He lagging a little. Everyone has. Well, I guess he has 120 ping. Okay, here we go. Hopefully, no one was kicked.
Attackers
There
need
we
to locate
go.
and defuse as many bombs as they can.
He said SSD. Come on, Val. Come on.
So, first half observations. Mac and Trey are going crazy. And no one has really answered back on the side of Ruins. 2-5, 2-6, 2-5, 3-5.
Attackers have
And
located a bomb.
Twirly over here, the lone positive player at 2-6.
Yeah, and not to say that, like, you know, Akuma, Val, and H aren't doing their job. They are. It's just that they have jobs that are
10
droning,
seconds left.
making the pressure. Like, we've seen Val on Monty a lot. We've seen Akuma
5 seconds
like
to
2 rounds in a row, 3 rounds in a row, being on, like, a hard reach. Like, these are things that, like, every team needs. It's just, it's not going to show up much on the scoreboard there.
Of course, of course. There are always things you can do in Siege that are not going to show on that scoreboard.
Let's see what the R4C user's doing.
It's looking like a very aggressive take. I'm not positive what
Yeah,
he's
he's
looking for. My immediate concern is he's been on this walkway for a minute now and has not checked. He's going to walk straight into the shotgun.
What was that, bro?
Not quite sure what the plan there was.
It was to go fast, for sure. I just... Why? Like...
He's getting away with highway robbery there.
Okay, we are cleaning the wall off here. That's nice. Oh, that's a player. I have a breach charge on.
Is that Bandit over there?
I think.
And it's going to hit the deck. Full evasive maneuvers, just staying alive. I like tucking yourself in this corner here. It's just an awkward fight players aren't used to taking. I do have to wonder if he has the hatches open in there. If he does, he has a very good escape
Oh,
route.
what a shot!
Oh,
Val.
what an angle from the Tachanka SMG.
And H cleans up. 5-2, and this is more of the scoreline that I was anticipating at the beginning of this game. I think that if you are wanting to get it aggressive like we've seen, we can't just have Ash solo rushing onto the bomb site. It's just, that's not ever going to be the move. It's hardly ever works, and when it does, it's like, so what? No one's there to capitalize off the ground that you've gotten, even if it is on site. Like, those players were 20 to 30 seconds behind the Ash. Like, be coordinated. If you want to go fast like that, awesome, bro. Have someone follow you up. Have a drone in front of you so you can get some information. I think
going
idea.
fast like that is totally fine, but you need to have one of two things. Either the attention needs to be drawn somewhere else, like we saw in round 1, where the Amaru goes in behind, and all of the attention is drawn towards Archive, or you need to have the whole team with you. You can't just send one player in fast. It's just not going to work.
We're ready for company.
I just want someone shoot the radio, please. Someone shoot.
That's my +1.
Bomb located by attackers.
You know, I really do want Ruin to maybe pick up another round or two. I think it would just make this a fun game.
10 seconds to go.
And the only thing that worries me about that idea is H was
5
able
seconds
to
left
start
before
getting
insertion.
warm. And if H wakes up and starts to go crazy, I think the likelihood of them picking up another round is probably pretty low.
A little bit, yeah. At this point, like, you never want to say a team is out of it, especially not at 5-2. It's 6-2, you might say that, but 5-2, like, yeah, you can still make something happen. But the more one member of ATS starts trading off the fragging ability to another, and they all stay warm, you're looking at a world of hurt. Just simply put.
Oh, please look at the ping. For the love of God.
I'm very concerned here. Trey is not looking at this Azami, even though she's been pinged.
Monty, to your right, brother. Please.
And Trey, asleep at the wheel, misses the opportunity. I'm not really sure what just damage through it, but...
Okay. Hey, that works.
Very
sloppy.
good aggressive monster play.
Sloppy, but it worked.
No. That is exactly how you want to see a Monty utilized. You are an impenetrable wall. Push yourself forward, force the defender out of that comfortable position, make them play for a gunfight, and hopefully you win that as an attacker.
Drone up. Swapping mag.
I'm getting a little worried here. The Monty just sitting in Ish kind of tells me that they've stalled out. They might not have information. They might just not really have answers at this point, with the only utility being left being a shield, maybe some smoke, some stuns, and a lion. It's not really any destructibility or intel for these
And
attackers.
he's got laser on too. He just showed his hand.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
He doesn't know where it's being shot from. Yeah.
Where was this shot from? Ooh, nice shot.
It just seems like they're not bringing enough to kind of break the.
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing I'm going to point you to is the 0 pick from last round, right? I love 0. I love the concept. But you have a core critical flaw. As an attacker, you need to be able to destroy things to disrupt the defense. And you just don't really have a lot of ways to do that with something like 0, with something like the Lion. They're bringing like a lot of intel-focused operators now,
Attackers need to locate
but they're not.
and
They're
defuse
then
bombs.
lacking in the destructibility and the disruption element of the attacking game plan.
Yeah.
Blackbeard is a fantastic answer to that. You keep the same pressure of a shield, you have nades, you have a fantastic gun. Maybe
And-
we can work on some of that.
Yeah.
But now we've immediately traded it off, and our only intel is going to be drones and a Dokkaebi.
Well, Doak is very strong with that, though, to be fair.
Device primed. Keep an eye on.
Like,
It is. I won't deny that.
and especially with it being on Swirly, maybe he's good with the
10 seconds to
SMG-12.
go.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just yapping here.
5
But,
seconds left.
Camera in position. Throwing jammer.
no one on site, though.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
I guess Trace close. Mac drops. So we're getting...
Device primed. Keep an eye on door.
By the way, this is my Catcan setup. He stole it. Detention wall.
I gotta be honest, in truth, you could still have Mac upstairs, and I would not be mad if this site was empty. This is
Yeah.
one of those bomb sites that you basically just play above. You have the entire,
A bomb has been
what
located.
do you call it? The entire ceiling above the bomb site is entirely destructible. There's no hard floor
Attackers
whatsoever.
drop the bomb diffuser.
Very aggressive customs take here. It will be answered back immediately, and answered again. Akuma just punishing them by being over in this east position. Clearly, they were not ready for him to be here.
Yeah. I mean, Mac is just going crazy as well. Kuma on this signature roam that we've seen from him many games, just absolutely swatting away any formal aggression.
I am getting worried for Akuma here that he's getting a little too aggressive. There it is. Wine swinging out in the middle of the open rather than continuing to maintain his position on east. You just have to wonder there. You weren't being pressured. Was it just ego? It's what I was saying before. This is one of those bomb sites. You can almost exclusively hold from above, and you're not really losing anything. Very good use of nades here. This probably takes Mac off the board.
Mac
Forget
jumped
I
16.
said anything. Manages to duck between the nades and snipe the Blackbeard. I'm sorry, Mac. I was not familiar with your game. That's on me.
Will you go ask Mac if he wants to come for a player interview for me, please?
I absolutely will.
Thank you, thank you.
Hey, good game, good game.
He should
Hey,
be on
technically
his
though,
way
y'all
shortly.
cheating, bro. Y'all have skins.
bro.
Hey, good game.
Good game, GG's, bro. GG's.
Mongo is here.
Oh, he's here. Awesome, awesome. Hello, Mac. How you doing, buddy?
Hello.
It was really loud in game chat, so I apologize for not being able to hear you come in. Those are my apologies. Okay, so, sir, you just dropped 16 on Border. Were you surprised, just like even starting out, were you surprised that Border made it through the pick phase for bans?
Actually, before the game, I requested to play Border.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
We were talking about we wanted to probably play a map we didn't really play yet. So I was like, I kind of feel like playing Border, and it just happened to make it through. So.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask a question because coming into this power ranking-wise, you guys were definitely clear-cut above the Ruin squad. Was there anything in today's game or anything that Ruins brought to the table that may have thrown a curveball off for you guys?
I'd say the rounds we lost was mainly like a communication issue, I guess, and just being coordinated. So it wasn't really like what they did. It was more about just like an alignment of what we wanted to do.
Okay. Yeah, and I've seen that you guys midway through kind of put Val back on that shield that he's kind of undoubtedly like known for, throughout this league and throughout ranked. Is that something that like gives like the whole squad like a boost in confidence when they're pushing behind a Monty? And have you guys gotten used to that?
Oh yeah, it's just more of like you can shoot a drone, but like if you're trying to shoot a Monty, it's like takes more utility to get rid of them. So it's just more active pings and more calls, and it could force someone out, so it's easier to pinch.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess it is more confidence when you're pushing with it.
Okay. Awesome. Cole, did you have any questions for Mac?
I do not. Watching it from our perspective, it looked like a pretty clean-cut bully.
I don't know how I survived that last kill. He had grenades on both sides of the desk, and I
I-
laid between them.
Mac, I will say I quite literally had to comment, "Oh, that's probably the end of mute," and then you immediately made me eat those words. I do apologize.
We were not familiar with that game. Now,
Yeah.
Mac, we were kind of talking about the kind of like the raw gun power that your team kind of like brings to the table when it comes to these things, and like we kind of seen you bounce around from hard breach to like flex picks all the way up to like the Amaru. So what really is your role when you are playing with this squad, and how does it because like that first round when you got that 4K off of slinging in through sandwich window, like absolutely insane. Like we caught that all on tape. It was disgusting.